Oh gosh,
we're back. Zach, I know you're celebrating the holiday. But,
hey, I'm celebrating lunch is what it is.
Yeah, hey, several hundred years ago, the United States ratified the Wisconsin Territory, so that's what we're celebrating today on April 20th.
Hell yeah, I'm so glad Wisconsin exists because of reasons. And
yes.
Cheese, probably? I have no idea.
It's great.
Anyway, we are back, everybody. This is another episode of Twitching UpStream, which is a very weird show that Dylan and I have where we just kind of go over our creative process. We have a lot of projects going on. If you don't know them, you can check out one of our websites, which is right down here, somenobodies.com. You can see all of our logos right here of some of the projects that we work on. You can see us on Talking UpStream, which is our show on Sundays, where we interview other creatives, other directors, other writers, and then we kind of pitch them ideas, and we go through their creative process while showing them our creative process. What we decided to do was to have an offshoot of that so that we can actually work on those projects and get some things done instead of just creating more and more stuff. So, I'm Zach. And that's Dylan.
Hi. Yes, I am.
How are you, Dylan?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Zach?
I'm doing very well. You are in a very good mood today. When you popped into the stream, you were very excited.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that at all, or no?
Are we getting political on the show?
Hey, I think we can do whatever we want. This is our show.
So, it feels a little strange to bring up, but...
Okay, if you don't want to, that's fine.
No, I will reference it for history's sake.
Yeah.
So, we learned literally minutes before we went on stream that Derek Chauvin, the cop who murdered George Floyd, was found guilty on all 3 charges. So, that's all I got. I mean, we are Some Nobodies is anti-racist.
Mm-hmm.
And just we're putting that out there right now, like straight up. This is an important precedent to set. That's all I got. That's all I got.
No, that's fine, and that's actually more than enough. We don't get political. We try not to bring real world stuff into our creative process, but there are some things that are very, very important. And the murder of George Floyd is very important. So I'm really glad that we got some good news. Not as good as it could have been, not as good as it always should be, but some good,
start.
Which is great. Yeah,
it's a precedent.
On to more of the things that we do, which is more nerd stuff. So in this show, what I do, you are as a viewer, whether you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're watching this, if you're watching this live, feel free to throw a comment down there. Let us know. Okay.
Oh,
cool. Yeah, you might as well put that up there because that is perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. He is a murderer. I agree.
Officially, in the eyes of the law.
Yep. But yeah, as far as nerd news, while people are getting into the chat, while people are congregating to tell us how weird our ideas are, I do have a bunch of weird media news that I like to throw at Dylan and see what he thinks. Because whatever, he doesn't really care, which I think is great.
I do. It's a barometer for how society moves sometimes.
Yeah, true. So in Marvel news, we were just talking about this right before we went live. The Shang-Chi trailer came out. I think it looks absolutely amazing. Dylan probably agrees. Who really knows? Either way, I
am inscrutable.
Yeah, that is true. I'm excited for this trailer. I think it's great. It's got a phenomenal cast. It looks beautiful.
It was a good trailer. It looks fun. It looks like a Marvel movie. Yeah. I'm with the ongoing, with like the Eternal stuff coming up and the cosmic stuff they're probably going to dig into. It's interesting to go back to what seems to be a pretty straightforward kind of like street level superhero. Yeah. But of course, Shang-Chi has some like really long, far back history stuff they can really kind of get into in the movie.
Yeah, I agree. And I really hope that this movie has the feel that Black Panther did when it came out, where like it's actually like, kind of embracing a culture, trying to understand and not just force their view of a culture down.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited. This movie should take span time-wise of thousands of years. So this should be a very cool thing. And I'm very, very excited. So I hope we get a couple more commercials soon. Stick with Marvel though. Falcon Winter Soldier. Are you caught up?
I am.
You
Yeah, episode 5 of 6. Yeah. I'm glad that Marvel seems to be willing to confront some of the writing issues they've had. I've seen a few think pieces on like the prevalence of like people of color being sidekicks to white heroes and often being disposed of in a way which, not really spoilers because everybody saw it happen, but kind of happened to the antagonist team in the show, which is almost fitting in that they are the antagonists, so it kind of fits that they do that kind of conventional stuff. But there are also very small portrayals of just everyday kind of like race relations in it. I'm a big fan of them bringing in the history of the Tuskegee experiments in relation to this, and it feels almost like it's a little strange to bring in such a historical low point in your superhero action TV show, but it's an important thing to make reference to, and it exposes an entirely new audience to what's a really dark spot on American history.
Yeah, I completely agree. And even to touch on what you said earlier, the writing of the show, I think, is the biggest improvement of a lot of the recent Marvel things. It doesn't feel, and granted, it is based on a comic book, and it is, a cartoon in essence. But I think when you have this many viewers, you have a responsibility to be slightly more than just a goofy thing. There are billions of people that are watching this thing. So, and if you're going to tell a story, tell a better story.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that we pride ourselves on, is trying to tell a better story. And I think that this show does a great job of telling a very, very good story. How they wrap this whole thing up in one episode, I have no idea.
They're not going to wrap it up. I don't in a bow. I don't think so. I think they're going to do similar to WandaVision, where it's like the immediate concerns of the series are taken care of, but there are going to be plenty of long-term implications for the Marvel franchise.
Now, also there was the spoilers. If you haven't seen Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm just gonna drop a name you've probably seen in the news. Julia Louis-Dreyfus was in this episode as Madame Hydra. I think that's if we expect heroes to fit accurately. Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. American history is riddled with like ends justified the means thinking, and if superheroes existed, it would absolutely be more close to Watchmen than DC.
Yeah, I completely agree. But Julia Louis-Dreyfus was shown as Madame Hydra in this. Now, the thing is that Black Widow movie got pushed back so far, but there is speculation that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in that movie, and this was supposed to be a wow kind of moment. Do you know anything about her character in the comics, Madame Hydra?
Madame Hydra, you saying that is both the first time I've heard that name and the first time I've heard it associated with her character on the show.
Oh, okay.
She showed up, and I'm like, she's a bad guy because she's playing it very sinister and she's dressed in dark tones.
Yeah.
And she is dealing with John Walker, and she turns very briefly to Lamar's wife, gives her a card, turns back to the white guy. Like she does that. She does that thing. She does the thing where it's like, this is not a nice person.
Yeah. So in the comics, Madame Hydra is Nick Fury's lover for a little bit. She's the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. She actually turns bad for a little bit, becomes Madame Hydra. But in the comics, it turns out that it was like this thing to kind of infiltrate them. You know how they're always like infiltrating each other and doing a thing. So
it's always a triple agent or something.
I think because her name is Madame Hydra, they're going to portray her as a bad person. So I'm excited about that. Okay, so if you watch some of our other shows, last week on The Real Boys, we reviewed Pitch Black, the Vin Diesel breakthrough phenomenon. Recently, it just got announced that Vin Diesel will be heading up a new franchise by Mattel Company. Have you heard about this, Dylan?
Is this not the Bloodshot universe?
Oh, no, sir.
This is something different?
Vin Diesel will star in Rock'em Sock'em Robots
I heard that today, and I didn't make the connection.
Yeah. So Rock'em Sock'em Robots, which is one of, I think, 10 properties that Mattel Productions has dropped, saying they're going to start filming to make big feature projects. I'm going to throw some at you. I need you to tell me what you think the plot line is.
First off, we got Real Steel, so we've already got Rock'em Sock'em Robots as a live-action movie, and it was not great.
Right. So, yeah, obviously Rock'em Sock'em is going to be another Real Steel, which is fine. We also have American Girl. Now, do you know what that project is?
Vin Diesel's fine. He's fine.
Yes, Vin Diesel is fine. He's fine. He's good in that. That's a fine movie.
I am surprised rewatching it recently that Pitch Black is the thing that catapulted him to stardom. That's a weird one. Yeah. You said American Girl?
Yeah, American Girl, which is, if you don't know, it's the life-size kid dolls.
A family gets a duplicate of their dead daughter, and it starts coming to life and commits murders around town.
Ooh, I love it.
And it slowly starts to build its own doppelganger out of like bark and hair, and then those come alive.
I love it.
Okay. Next up.
You have Barbie, which is, I think it stars Margot Robbie as Barbie. What is that project going to be?
American Psycho, but with a female lead.
So not American Psycho 2, which exists.
No.
With a female lead.
No.
Okay, cool. Okay, up next we have Magic 8 Ball.
Did you see that movie, Wish Upon?
Oh, of course.
It's going to be Wish Upon with a Magic 8 Ball instead of an offensive Chinese music box.
Yeah. Okay, next, Viewmaster. That is in pre-production.
Those are the little like. Some kid gets a Viewmaster and they start looking at it and it starts showing. I'm just doing horror for all of these. Why not? It starts showing the scenes of everybody he loves dying, and he has to try and prevent them, but it doesn't work. So kind of like, I mean, name one. Name one. 8mm, I think, is probably the big one.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, Harley Quinn, American Psychiatrist. Why not?
Yeah, I'm into that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one I want to talk about. Lil Yachty, the rapper. He just got signed in an.
I thought that was a Mattel property.
No.
Like rapper. What? It's like a talking boat?
No. Oh god. How old are you? Lil Yachty, the rapper, got signed for another Mattel project called the Uno movie. What do you think Uno's about? Now, I'll even give you a clue. Okay. It is labeled as a heist movie. Okay.
Casino heist. And then it turned.
Who knows?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, I don't understand why these things exist.
There's gonna be that scene where it's like someone tries to plant a bug or like a tracker on Lil Yachty, and they're like tracking. Yes, you ruined it. And they're like tracking him through their little handheld tablet or something. And it's like he's right on top of us, and then it's like the helicopter is tailing him, and then Lil Yachty's like, they weren't ready for my reverse card, or something like that, or it's like draw. Like someone goes to shoot someone and it's like empty, and Lil Yachty does the thing where he drops the bullets like Vin Diesel does. Not Vin Diesel, you got me thinking. Like Vince Vaughn does in The Lost World Jurassic Park, where he's like, they're not going to get very far without these. Draw 4 or something like I don't know.
It's so crazy that these projects can exist for a name only of a board game, which is ridiculous.
They made Battleship.
Yeah, true. Recent news, Amazon, just so you know, Amazon has a Lord of the Rings project. It is a series.
Yep.
Season 1 got a whopping $465 million budget.
It's going to be a 6-series television show from what they've said.
That is insane.
Yeah. Now, a lot of that is probably going to startup, such as like building some props, getting some locations rented, equipment and stuff like that. But $500 million, when you consider marketing, this thing is going to cost them $500 million to put the first season out.
Now, keep in mind that Mandalorian season 1 cost $100 million, which is 1/5 of this. Where is this money going?
I don't know. So I've followed this project a little bit because I'm curious, and it's going to be set during the Second Age, which is before anything we see in the movies, which culminates in the battle against Sauron at Mordor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I know how this ends. It's a prequel series. The issue with prequels is that you are bound to canon unless it is explicitly a prequel, which is a story in a different continuity. This is not. This is supposed to be in Jackson's Middle-earth, as far as I'm aware.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
so much money.
I'm sure it's going to be fine. I'm sure it's going to be fine. Amazon generally does okay work. I think they've done a very good job with The Expanse. They know how to handle a budget and big spectacle.
Ooh, The Expanse. What a good show. What a well-written show.
Yes. Hallie Lambert, give me a job.
Yeah, for real.
I'll move to LA.
Yeah, that's a quick little plug.
I'll move to LA if you give me a job on The Expanse. Anyway,
I'll go with him. Quick little plug though. If you do like The Expanse, we did get a chance to interview Hallie Lambert, who was one of the head room writers of The Expanse. That episode comes out this Sunday, so please check that out. It was a very good episode.
It takes 3 episodes for the interview to get good. I'm stealing that joke from someone who's probably in the chat right now.
Oh god, that's funny.
I needed to make it before he could.
Okay, over to DC news though. There is a big push. I'm assuming because the Snyder Cut was very, very successful, mostly because it is just a better version of a very, very bad movie. But there has been a big push for the Ayer cut of the Suicide Squad. Now, do you have any interest in this whatsoever?
I have a bizarre kind of sick fascination with Suicide Squad. I saw it in theaters with a friend of mine, and we roasted it mercilessly because it's very easy to. Mm-hmm. And I've watched it like 2 or 3 times since because it's this weird mix of like completely bizarre, almost alien language in as much as like how characters are introduced. And I'm thinking specifically of when Katana is brought onto the helicopter, and without any context, he gives her sword more backstory than he does her. And weird but intriguing fantasy elements. I'm thinking of the Enchantress doing her little like magic dance.
That was good. Good.
And just it's so weird. It's so weird. It's such a bizarre movie. I don't believe there's a David Ayer cut out there.
So, from what I've heard and what I've read, the original ending was supposed to be a dual fight. There was a Harley Quinn versus Joker fight, as well as a Rick Flag versus Enchantress fight. Yeah. And they did not want to go into that because, when the helicopter crashes, apparently Joker, he does not die there. He comes back with a burned face.
Helicopter crashes don't do anything in that movie.
No, dude, crash a helicopter. It does not matter. Nothing happens. They're easy, dude.
There's no such thing as fall damage in that movie.
Well, airbags on helicopters are so prevalent now that there's nothing.
It's just an inflatable helicopter.
Yeah. Okay, so my question is, with the Ayer cut, do you think that this is like fandom going crazy? Hello, Mr. Taylor. Hello, Mr. Taylor. Is this fandom going crazy, or is this overreach of studios?
I think this is fandom gone crazy. I feel like this one it might be a little more manufactured because I think people wanted Justice League to be good more than I think anybody wanted Suicide Squad to be good. I don't hear many people clamoring for Suicide Squad. I heard a lot of people talking about how they wanted a good Justice League. People like those characters.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad is just dirty and kind of mean and not in like a fun way. It's just kind of like, I'm thinking specifically of the introduction for Slipknot, where it's like everybody gets a really stylized intro and then they pull Slipknot out of a car and they're like, this is Slipknot. He can climb anything. He says 3 lines of dialogue, and I might be generous there. Mm-hmm. And then his head explodes. That's it. That's the entirety of the character. Yeah. And there was a big deal made about him being like of like a First Nations actor or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's done very dirty in that movie.
Well, the thing is, the Suicide Squad should have been that, but the entire time.
Yes.
The whole point of Suicide Squad is that they are lackluster people that kind of just die off.
But there's a tone that you need to nail with that, and that movie does not have it.
Yeah,
and I don't see anybody sincerely wishing, especially with James Gunn's The Suicide Squad coming out, I don't see anyone caring about a recut Suicide Squad release.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as Red says, most of the drive behind that actual movie was Harley Quinn, and we got a Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. I like that movie.
I like that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see any real interest in like an actual Suicide Squad recut, especially not enough interest that they would do like a $70 million recut and go back to studio and bring in Weta animations to do the digital effects. Like, Justice League was a big deal, and the fact that it got done is a big deal. I don't see Suicide Squad getting that treatment because nobody cares about Suicide Squad as a property.
But I will watch it. I'm a content sponge.
If it comes out, I'll watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I wrote back on my personal blog, I wrote like an article, like a post about how Suicide Squad's a bad movie. And I would do a comparison thing, but
it is a very, very bad movie.
Ugh. God.
that I kind of like for some reason.
Same here. Like I said, I have a sick fascination with that movie.
Yeah. All right, let's get on to what we do in this show, which is content creation. Now, how we restructured this show is that we were going to take one of the projects that we create on Talking Upstream and then break it down and to show people and also get some inspiration on how to take a stupid idea, turn it into a story, take that story and turn it into possibly a scripted idea. DC's going to pay $75 million per movie. Yeah. Honestly, and I'm in. I'll get them. I'll take every single one. I'm such a sucker for all content. But I do think that...
Such a fanboy.
Well, yeah, I am. But I think that if you are going to have a director like David Ayer and you're going to have him do a movie, let him do the movie. Why have it's not the CW where you get somebody like Kevin Smith who just kind of follows, a good formula of what they ask him to do. But this is a movie where you're giving an auteur the ability to make a film. Why take away all the whatever? I don't care.
I mean, well, Disney's been doing that. They've been giving little indie directors their big superhero movies and then firing them 75% of the way through and bringing in Ron Howard or something like that.
Ugh. I still like that movie too, except for three very stupid scenes. But anyway, okay, so what we're working on currently is we are working on the project, which is Phantom Limb. And we are going down into more scene breakdowns, going into some character development, and even some actual dialogue. So, Dylan, do you want to get everybody caught up with what this story is?
Yeah, so let me pop this additional screen in here. So this is my document. This is kind of what my development documents look like for our projects, especially for scripts. So generally what I do, because I am admittedly a novice screenwriter, is that I follow the outline generated by a book that is generally pretty well regarded called Save the Cat. And what Save the Cat does is outline a specific process for developing screenplay. That starts with a story summary, which is right here. This is kind of what we spent I think it's episode 1 or 2 of Twitching UpStream, where we developed the idea of a doctor gets kidnapped by a gang of kind of like, I guess they're kind of like magic gangsters. They have some wizards and stuff like that, trying to muscle into the supernatural underworld. And to do that by bringing on a surgeon who is going to graft on and perform demonic surgeries on the enforcers. Cool. We had a pretty rough outline because that's what we do on our main show. I went in with what we had come up with on our show, went into a detailed summary. This is everything we had come up with expanded. It has a few more character beats, it has a little bit more development, and it has some story scenes that we really wanted to see. We go through this. This is kind of what we did on that first follow-up episode. Then, the beat sheet. Now, for those of you who don't know, beats are when a story has specific moments. A beat in the big one that I can think of right now is Infinity War, where a beat would be Thanos boards the Asgardian ship, beats Loki and Thor, takes the Infinity Stone. That's what a beat is. Or Black Maw arrives on Earth and confronts the Avengers. Those are beats. They are specific moments that you would kind of use in a one-line description of what happens on the movie. Yeah.
Black Maw.
Is that not his name?
Ebony Maw.
Ebony Maw. Whatever. And generally, Save the Cat tends to outline on your beat sheet rough page counts for when those beats occur. Obviously, just guidelines, but it's a good rubric to kind of make sure your pacing is on par for a 110-page script, which comes out to about a 90-minute, 100-minute feature. I took these beats over the past week. There are 15 beats listed. Stuff like the midpoint, where the character has to confront their challenges and make a decision and to continue moving forward. All is lost, which would be in Infinity War, if you're looking at it from Thanos' point of view, when Thanos fights everybody on Titan and it looks like he's going to get the gauntlet taken from him. That's what the all is lost scene is. I took those 15 beats and I did a scene breakdown. I went through all those beats. I kind of was like, if we're in a location, that's a scene. If we have a specific idea of a confrontation in mind, that's a scene. And it came out, those 15 beats, to about 22, 23 scenes. Obviously, this is obviously just an outline. Oh, well, thank you, Jason. I'm really... Oh, Hallmark Christmas movies, you can pound that out in like a week. Hallmark Christmas movies, yeah. And
we can knock those out.
Yeah, and red is correct. Usually the recommendation for a screenplay is 1 page to 1 minute of screen time, including stage directions, parentheticals, and stuff like that. Depending on your movie, depending on how much, depending on the director and how much they like to have their lingering shots or stuff like that, your time can get squished or condensed or expanded however you want.
Yeah.
Generally, the goal for a novice or new screenwriter is to write a 90-minute feature just to get those beats and timing right down to the minute. So this is a 23-scene breakdown. We used the beats that we had established. There's a little bit more added in there. I did a little bit more rearranging and what I want to say, kind of like synchronicity between some of the character stuff. So what I thought we could do here on this episode is go through these scenes and just kind of expand a little bit. Figure out if there's any specific lines of dialogue, any specific character moments, any actions that we really want to include in a finished product, and then eventually we'll get an actual screenplay written, and you can listen to our table read potentially as a Patreon exclusive or something like that, or we can do a special episode. But work is work.
Work is work.
The Coen brothers could make 1 page into 10 minutes of ennui and contemplation. I'm also thinking of Kubrick had a lot of lingering shots. Denis Villeneuve has a lot of lingering shots.
Zack Snyder with some rain and aggressive slow motion.
Zack Snyder does a lot of time manipulation with slow motion. The Snyder Cut would probably, and I mean this sincerely, at least half an hour shorter if you played all the slow motion stuff in standard duration.
There is 28 minutes of slow motion time in there. But that
is
also...
there actually?
Yeah, 28
oh, cool.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
all right.
Good job.
I watched, I did watch, there was a supercut of 300 where they sped up all of the slow-mo into normal speed. Movie doesn't really work.
No?
It doesn't really work.
That's funny. It's like a 70-minute weird fight.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Let's start with the opening scene here. Now, in the opening scene, we have open in a penthouse apartment over in Cincinnati. Crime boss Hidalgo and Renee are discussing a curse on the crime boss. Hidalgo says his people might have found someone who can already do it because there's not enough time to train Renee before the curse kills him. Okay. Yes. So what we're trying to achieve in this scene is what, Dylan?
So this is setting up the main conflict of the movie. This is the opening image. We are trying to establish that this is about crime and a gang. They're powerful. He's cursed, so there is magic. And they have found someone who can take care of it, and we're being intentionally vague as to what that is yet.
Cool.
So we know they're looking for someone or something, and we know that it is threatening the crime boss's life or soul or something like that.
Okay. So we have to show what? We're in
like a lavishly appointed penthouse apartment.
Yep.
I'm seeing like rain on the windows. This one doesn't have to be terribly done because this is a short scene and it's the first one in the movie. So this one doesn't have to have anything super specific in it.
Right. But Hidalgo says his people might have found someone who can already do it. Do we need to allude to what the it is?
That was something that I specifically had left vague. Well, that's true. We should have some Cincinnati landmark of some sort. There's the river. There's that kind of like mushroom hotel they have. Everybody, if you've driven through Cincinnati, you've seen that hotel.
Yeah. I guess we can have people outside with Bengals starter jackets on, right?
He's got a foam finger that just says I heart Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Got a tattoo on his cheek.
Sintown. Well, okay, so we don't need to necessarily like tell them what Hidalgo's looking for, but I think that it would be smart to show some kind of emergency of why they need it. Either somebody hurt or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you need to push the audience into seeing something to know there needs to be a time thing.
I think we show that the crime boss Hidalgo himself is in bad physical shape.
Okay.
Maybe he's leaning on something. So Hidalgo's in poor health, like poor visible health, sunken eyes, sallow skin, that sort of thing.
Now, does he have like a different color body part? Like, is because if he's going to get a limb, like he's going to have one taken off, right? Or does something look odd or no?
So what I had for the curse is that someone is turning his heart to wood or something. So I was going for imagery. I was going for imagery on this so that we could really strongly establish the supernatural. Because in a later scene, when Thaddeus Cole, the main character and the surgeon, removes the curse, does an open heart surgery, and he's like, there's something in here. And he pulls out like a briar branch out of his chest.
Ooh.
Something weird and kind of symbolic.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah. Oh, man, we could do the Ark encounter. Oh, man. I do like the idea of the Ark encounter being the scene of a supernatural showdown later.
All right, yeah.
We could also do, I can never spell Cincinnati correctly.
Cincinnati.
Thanks, got it. Cincinnati landmarks or not newspaper articles, but they have like maybe Hidalgo's in publicity photo of Hidalgo. There's I don't know what this building is, but it's like this big, it's a museum center. Let me see if I can pull an image up real quick, because now we're sharing screens. There you go.
Oh!
Yeah, show it like that. We have that set and Cincinnati Museum Center. There we go. Sure. We got Cincinnati justified right there. We show the river. They have little river boats with like the water wheels on them. They do river tours, that sort of thing. Cheers. Yeah. What's that?
Oh, nothing. I was just...
just talking.
Yeah.
So I figure this is the opening scene. We show that he's in bad health. Maybe he's got like a crystal on his desk or we do something kind of magical in his office, but not too overt.
Yeah, right next to his Pete Rose autographed baseball.
Sure.
Right? Cincinnati Reds.
I thought that was from Guns N' Roses.
Oh, I don't think so.
No, I'm messing with you. So, that's kind of it. Is there any sort of dialogue? I know dialogue you might expect to see in this, or can it just be kind of like...
Well, my question is, what is the nurse doing in this scene?
Well, we've set the nurse up, Renee, to be kind of like being trained to do all their supernatural surgeries and stuff, but this curse is beyond her. Right. So I figure...
Is she checking on Hidalgo then?
she's either checking on him or he called her in and being like, hey, you're not up to this, so we're going to bring someone else in. So maybe she's fuming or something.
Yeah. And then how does Hidalgo find the information about the person that can do it?
I don't know if we need to.
Okay.
He has a dowsing. He has a diviner. Like someone on his staff is like a diviner.
Okay.
They have maybe they got snakes. You know, they read the entrails. We have that scene where they lay a snake out and then they do.
Sure. I thought it'd be like a cell phone call, but yeah, gutting snakes is way better.
If it's magic, I figure we go crazy on it.
Yeah. All right. Sure.
All of my paid work that I'm writing right now is literally for children, so I kind of want to get some of the weird imagery out here because I'm not allowed to do that.
Yeah, let's just gut some snakes with some goat's horns.
Yeah, sure. We'll make a reference to that later. Maybe when Cole is in their complex and he's being shown all their magic stuff, they have a lab and it's got they have a massive terrarium just full of snakes. He's like, what are the snakes for? And it's like, they tell us stuff. What, like they talk to you? Not quite. I'm gonna write that down in a later scene.
Yeah, like
I do like that.
No, you should. It's a good scene. Okay, so over to scene 2. Surgeon is in a hospital on his way to a difficult surgery. It's someone who's missing a limb. He thanks everybody for being there and gets started. Afterwards, they're all exhausted, but the surgery was a success. He delivers the good news to the person's waiting family, and we get that he works to save everybody. Okay.
This is the establishing moment for the character, and it's where the theme of the movie is stated. So at some point during this scene, Cole says that his job and his goal and the reason he got into medicine is to help people. That's the theme of the movie. That is the thesis statement.
So this is the scene in most movies where you have the waiting room and you have like a nurse who's with the family, and the nurse says something like, "Don't worry, you got the best doctor there is on this coast." And then and then a doctor comes in and it's like, honestly, not that hard. Got it all taken care of. No big deal.
Something along those lines. If we want him to have a good bedside manner, he can just be like, we went in, we did what we'll whenever we'll do some research on what actual surgery terms are when we write this. But he's effectively going to be like, I did X, Y, and Z, and he responded A, B, C. The surgery was a success. He'll obviously be bedridden, but you can see him in the morning after he's had some rest. Take gloves off, gloves in the biohazard box.
Yep. He's like, luckily we had a last minute thigh donor.
Yeah. Last minute thigh donor?
Yeah.
We did a thigh transplant.
The whole thigh.
Oh, it's that big around.
It's a femur transplant.
Well, yeah, so Cole tells the patient's family that the patient will make a full recovery. Nurse is clearly... Oh, yeah, who do you want to cast as the main character? Who's Thaddeus Cole?
Thaddeus Cole is going to be a doctor, and the doctor is in his mid-40s, right?
Yeah.
It is a gentleman.
Young hot shot when it comes to doctors.
Yeah. Honestly, I am such a fan of Yahya Abdul-Mateen. I think that he is a beautiful man. And
that is almost every time you talk about him, that is what you mentioned. You mentioned that you're like physically attracted to him.
It's true. Every time, if I watch something and he's on it, I have to rewind it quickly because I did not hear what he said. I just look at him. I'm like, all right.
Let me see if I can get a picture of him in a surgeon's outfit. Shoot! No, every time I'm not gonna spoil Watchmen because I think there are people in the chat who haven't finished it yet.
What? If that's a shot at Red Flanagan, watch that show.
There he is. Yeah, Thaddeus Cole. I like him.
Yeah. Wow, what a good-looking dude. My shoulder devil is suggesting Ewan McGregor and Nick Offerman for a doctor.
I like Nick Offerman as Hidalgo.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah.
Make him burly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Cool.
And then we have Renee, who is Femme
Fatale.
Okay, cool. So we have...
Yeah, you should check out Watchmen. Anyone who hasn't watched the Watchmen series on HBO, it's some good television.
Yeah, it is. It is beyond good. It's better,
and it's relevant, and it's more relevant today than ever.
Yeah. Ooh, Paul Giamatti's a mob boss. That might be a little better.
I like Paul Giamatti as a mob boss, and yeah. It's a little less obvious.
Yeah, I agree. Well, except for as the Rhino, but whatever.
He was hardly the Rhino.
Okay, so and then Renee is the Femme Fatale, so we're probably going to do. Who's your current favorite Femme Fatale? We're at who is Did you watch Iron Fist?
No.
Colleen. Dang, what's her name?
Colleen Wing.
I think so. Yeah, she's an Iron Fist. She's in, I think, an MCU film as well.
Jessica Henwick.
I don't know who that is.
That's the actor.
Oh.
The actor's name is Jessica Henwick.
Cool. I like her. I also like Margaret Pugh.
I like Jessica Henwick. I think she's a good kind of like sinister surgeon apprentice.
Yeah. And then who else do we have here?
We've got Chaz. Chaz gets the demon arm and then the demon blood and then becomes part demon.
So Chaz,
he winds up running the crime gang.
Yeah, Chaz, and he's a real good dude, right?
He's a good guy.
Kind of big.
Yeah.
Right? Like a bigger dude. Bigger, good dude. Like Brendan Fraser, but younger.
I pictured him as younger.
Yeah.
Our friend Chris Harvey is going to... Never mind. Nope, I can't reveal that.
Whoa. Ruby Rose. That'd be pretty good, too. Zoe Kravitz, very good. Yeah. Margot Robbie's great and everything.
Margot Robbie can be his wife.
Or Zoe Kravitz. She's a great actress.
Either or.
Yeah. Okay, so Chaz. So we need a larger, youngish.
Yeah, youngish.
Yeah. Let's see. What's current right now? What are we watching? What about like Sebastian Stan?
Sure.
He's got a
Sebastian Stan.
He's got a great look.
From The Craft?
Classic Craft Sebastian Stan. Yeah.
Was it The Craft that he was in? He was in one of those like sexy magic teenager movies. You know what I mean?
The Craft is the sexiest, magicest teenage movie there is. So
The Covenant is the one. the other one.
Oh, The Covenant. Oh, that's got your dude in it from The Expanse, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Is Sebastian Stan too handsome?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think? Hold on.
Wait, are you going to show me a picture of Sebastian Stan?
Yeah, but it's a tiny one. That's too tiny. Hold on.
Why is that this?
That's a really small picture. Hold on.
Yeah, I know. Wait, too handsome for what?
To be a crime enforcer. I guess they do kind of dirty him up in Civil War.
Yeah, he's filthy. If he has like a little bit of long hair.
Yeah.
Jess Camacho? Who's that?
Jess Camacho.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Jessica Camacho? She's Santana in something?
What?
She's in The Flash as a character with a problematic name that's a slur for the Romani.
Oh, God.
Oh, DC. Man, I get it. We're American, but like... No, Jessica...
Okay. Yeah, I definitely don't want any Army Hammer vibes ever.
Yeah. And I didn't say it, but I was thinking like we should not get a Hemsworth.
No. But definitely nothing. What about Josh Hartnett?
Ooh.
What's he up to these?
That's not what. Oh, this guy. Wow, that's weird. It pulled up Jessica Camacho from The Flash. Yeah. Oh, this guy. Oh my. Yeah. If he. Okay, I could see it.
What are you seeing?
He would need to buff up a little bit, but this isn't bad. Oh, what did I just click? Create QR code.
What are you doing?
There it is.
Oh no,
cool. We're doing a show. Yeah. And then as he gets more demonic, he gets like a little like built. Just because like demon blood, turns you into a monster.
Love it.
Yeah, cool.
Cool.
So
also,
that's who we're.
By the way, Lock and Key is phenomenal.
Haven't watched it yet.
You really should check that out. It's very, very cool. Season 2 got Wait, you know him?
Oh, Jason Taylor can get us connections. Let's get him on. Get him on the show. Let's get him on the Sunday show.
Yeah, I would love that.
Jason will be in touch.
Jason, we will be in touch. Yeah, I'm still upset that how that ended up going. Remake Revolution.
Oh yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. We also competed in Remake Revolution. We put in a lot of work.
I'm not gonna talk about it.
Yeah. Watch it and find out how we did.
You're gonna be so embarrassed when that D&D pitch becomes a best-selling fantasy novel.
Yeah, punks.
Gonna have for the acknowledgement at the beginning is gonna be for Mr. Dan and Jason Taylor, and then I'm gonna be like, no, I shouldn't do that. That's petty.
But we're going to anyway because we are petty. At least me. Okay, so what are we working out on this?
So we're on scene 3. Because I figured, the hospital scene's pretty easy. He comes out, he tells the family they're going to be fine. He's like, hey, and he leaves to go. He gets called into a different surgery or something, and the nurse is like, he was always on. He was in the best of hands.
Nice. All right, scene 3. Surgeon is out to his family. He's watching his son play in a sandbox, discussing the ethics of work in healthcare with his wife. When he gets a text saying he needs for an emergency surgery. Despite it being his day off, he says goodbye to his wife and son and leaves. His wife supports him, but wishes he was around more for their son's sake.
Yeah, because he's got a family, he's doing his job, and he loves them, but he's also an important surgeon. And when he can't see them later, when he's in the gang headquarters, this is going to hit harder because he's like, I should have taken the time when I had it. These hands.
These powerful hands.
These powerful hands. I have special hands.
They couldn't save the man on the bat.
Yeah.
That's a never-ending story. Whatever. Okay, so what are we learning with this scene here?
So this is showing his relationship to his family. We've seen him at work, and now we see that he has trouble juggling the priorities of his job and his family.
So does he have to be out, or is this something where he is at home and it's like a birthday party thing, and he just gets there a little bit late, and his pager's going off? And
it could be. Do we want him to be the kind of dad who doesn't go to his son's birthday party because of work? We could. It just feels played out.
Yeah, and also, no, I don't like that.
Yeah, I figured something like they're just at dinner and he gets called into an important emergency surgery.
Yeah, maybe it's like his party.
Oh, sure. Yeah, on his birthday. He's at his own birthday party.
Yeah.
When he's called away to important emergency surgery.
Yeah, cool. from an unknown number.
No, I figured this is a legitimate one, and then he gets kidnapped when he leaves. So that way it's the middle of the night. That way he's ambushed in the darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the family scene, no big deal. Okay, now we're on to scene 4, right?
Yes.
All right, scene 4. Cole wraps surgery and is leaving the hospital because he's having an early breakfast with his family. In the parking garage, he's surrounded by some rough people who offer him cash to come up with him. He refuses, so they knock him out.
Yeah.
So
I figure at this point, if he's at his own party, he's like, I have to, they offer him some opportunity for private surgery, and he's like, that's crazy. That's not how any of this works. If you need surgery, go to a hospital. And then he's like, my family is, jeez, he misses his kid's party, but he gets a perfect gift in advance and is waiting for his kid. I like the idea that they get him a present, and they're like, his son got him a present. They're like, the mom is like, well, you can give it to him when he's back. We're having breakfast because he missed his party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. His kid got him a great gift, but they'll have to give it to him when he gets back. Sad face. And then
do we need do we need a gang?
Yeah. I mean, this is all the. I don't think Chaz is here when he's actually kidnapped, but this is the gang kidnapping him.
All right. Now, does the gang have a look, or are they just some peeps?
I figure they're just some peeps. There might be some unified appearance of some sort, but for the most part, it's just these are upstarts. They're new to it, so
yeah, new gang, but they have uniforms for some reason.
I mean, they're trying. They've got maybe at this point they're just trying to be unobtrusive, so they're wearing street clothes.
Yep. All right, cool. So this scene is just whatever except for characters, right? All we really need is that they do ask. They're like, "Hey, we have the surgery."
They do ask.
And he's
do
like,
they,
"No."
Do they knock him out physically, or do they have some sort of magical method of knocking him out? Like he starts getting woozy or something, and then you see the guy in the back doing like he's got something like magical in his hands, or do they just hit him in the back of the head?
Either that, or like they have like a crystal that they like break and then like throw the dust in his face, like just not like a bone.
Yeah. They break a bone.
Yeah, they break a bone
and toss the dust in his face, which KOs him because I just don't want to start a new line.
We hate new lines. Okay,
I just don't like widows or orphans.
Yeah, except their clothes. Okay, Cole wakes up in a small room. He doesn't know when or where he is. Eventually, a gangster named Chaz comes to get him and takes him to a makeshift operating room. An impressive-looking man is there who introduced himself as Mr. Hidalgo and that he needs emergency surgery. A spooky lady is there who will be his nurse. The crime boss goes under Renee. Crime boss goes under, and Renee explains they're extracting a curse, which confuses Cole. He considers letting Hidalgo die on the table after recognizing him, but instead goes through with it. Cole removes a long thorn branch from inside Hidalgo's chest. He thinks he sees it move, but then they shut it in an iron branded box and take it away. Cole is taken back to his cell.
So, Red, I just want to do a brief aside. You're getting a little ahead of me because we do have plans to show the progression of time. I like the use of flowers, actually.
Yeah.
I think this takes place over a longer span of time than flowers would reasonably last, unless she is so heartbroken she keeps them on the table, which is kind of touching, I think.
It could be like a bonsai tree, and then we could show it growing and getting cooler and bigger.
Yeah. Let's see. Give me just a second, because I do have a scene later on where Chaz and Cole have a bonding moment, and Chaz is like, hey, I'm not supposed to do this, but if you want to go see your house and your wife, I'll drive you past. So they drive past, and he sees his wife sad at the table. What's this? Hello, initial Dylan. Well. You're watching Twitching UpStream. His name is Zack. My name is Dylan. We are creatives, and this is us going through a story and developing it into something that eventually we're hoping to produce and sell. Right now, we are making a story up about a man. He's a surgeon who gets kidnapped by a cult of wizards in Cincinnati, Ohio, and is made to perform all sorts of supernatural surgeries on the enforcers there. This is our attempt to expand our scene breakdown so that we have some really specific imagery to go along with what we've written so far.
Yep. I love that. We are back up, scene 5.
We are a little further up, but I'm going to show the flowers.
Oh, right.
To show progression of time. Oh, yeah. Hey, us Dylans, especially with how many ways we spell this name, man, we gotta show up for each other. Real recognize real, right? Hey, thanks.
Yeah, right on. I appreciate it, Dylan.
Yeah. So yeah, and you can check out a longer form of this show every Sunday.
Yep.
On YouTube.
Cool. Okay, so where are we at?
They do the surgery. We're on scene 5.
Yeah.
They do the surgery. Is there any sort of specific appearance elements or dialogue lines or little beats? We are running short on time.
Yeah, true.
Shortish.
We need, so if Cole is not a magician surgeon, a magic surgeon, we would need to have somebody there that can maybe do the incision, just the magical incision, right?
Renee is there to be guided, mentor / and assistant.
Yeah. But it's too close to the heart, so she can't do it.
She does a lot of magical exposition. Yeah. And she doesn't seem happy to be in an explanatory role.
Yeah. And then Cole, the doctor, takes over, just grabs the thing, pulls it right out. And as he's looking at it, somebody, I guess Renee just comes over and just slams it shut into that lead box. Yeah. And Cole has no idea. And immediately Hidalgo is back. He's feeling better. And they usher Cole away to his cell. Wait, why?
Yeah. Because the surgery's over.
So
in the next scene, Hidalgo calls him to dinner and we get a big exposition scene.
Nice. Cool. Okay. Is there anything else we need to go over in scene 5?
No, I think scene 5 is good. Oh, hey. Yeah, Boulder, Colorado, the very one.
Yeah.
We live in Boulder County. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Every day.
Every day. Most days. I'm going to be living in Michigan for like a week coming up.
And it snowed its butt off yesterday.
It snowed a lot.
Wow, it snowed so hard yesterday, but whatever. Okay, so scene 6. Later, Cole's invited to dinner with Hidalgo. The bondage crime boss thanks him for saving his life. Oh, bandaged. His life and his soul, and says that he works for the gang now. Cole demands to be let go, but Hidalgo shows that they faked his death. Then he demands that the gang makes payment to his family as a wage. Hidalgo hems and haws, but agrees with the condition that Cole teach Renee what he knows. Cole is confused, and Hidalgo explains they're an occult street gang using magic to come up with Cincinnati. Cole doesn't quite believe him, but whatever.
So this is a scene where we as the audience and Cole as the window character learn that the supernatural is real and they need someone who can do surgeries with the supernatural elements. And it's an example for Cole to kind of like get his control and agency back a little bit, where Hidalgo's like, I need you to do this, teach this person that, you're going to be on retainer. And Cole goes, you have kidnapped me.
Yeah.
Take me back. And he's like, no. And Cole's like, I didn't expect you to say yes. If you want me to do this, you pay my family for what you've put them through. And we immediately see that he cares about his family.
Mm-hmm.
He is willing to go along with this because he's a pragmatist and because he's helping people, because Hidalgo's going to pitch it as like, you'll be helping people survive, stuff like that. And we see that Cole is quick on his feet. We see that he's able to bargain and he's able to kind of like come onto his own, despite the fact that he's in very unfamiliar waters.
Yeah. And we probably have that scene in there where Hidalgo's like, name your price. And Cole's like, no. And he's like, seriously, name your price. And Cole just writes a crazy number down, and Hidalgo says, done.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. And that scene's pretty much there, right?
That scene's pretty much there. And I think we are running low on time to the point where we should probably take a break.
Okay, cool. Everybody, thank you very much for hanging out with us. I hope you enjoy this process of taking a project and breaking it all the way down into scenes, into beats.
We're trying something new here for this for the Tuesday show. I think Sunday's going to be generation, Tuesday's going to be refinement. Right, and like Dylan said earlier, what we're trying to do. Hey, thank you very much, Mr. Initial Dylan. You will have a good one also. And, you too. Enjoy your. Hopefully, we'll see you around. Yeah, enjoy your trip back to Colorado sometime. But yeah, so what we're trying to do is get to a point where we can have a live script reading with something that Dylan produces. Dylan is a writer; he writes great scripts, and we're trying to figure out a different way of just showing people the things that we do. Yeah, right on, Dylan. Yeah. Thank you. So that's what we're turning this show into. So like Dylan said, Sunday is the creation show. Tuesday is going to be the refinement down to scripting and then reading with some of our friends, some of our actors and stuff. But either way, thank you guys very much for hanging in there and watching. Thank you to Initial Dylan for being a new friend. We do appreciate it. Thank you to Rick Flanagan, obviously, and always for phenomenal suggestions. Mr. Jason Taylor, anybody else there, we appreciate it. We are Some Nobodies. I'm Zach. This is Dylan. Our website's right down there, somenobodies.com, where you can see all the weird stuff that we're doing. We do weird improv/written podcast called Silicon Angels and Podcast. You can find me and Dylan and some other really funny people on our movie review show called The Real Boys on Mondays. You can see all of our weird stuff we do constantly over at Some Nobodies. Mr. Dylan, peace out, bro. Thank you. Keep an eye out for CYOP Appeal, our create your own pod venture. At some point in the following weeks, it's getting put together. We're trying to drop all episodes on one day, so it's a lot of upfront work, but I think the payoff is going to be worth it. So keep an eye out. We'll definitely announce when that comes out. Yep. And hey, take it easy out there, everybody. Yeah, it's a weird world, but you got people around you. Hopefully. Yeah. Later. Bye.